Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing you another audio commentary, and this time I'm going to be commenting on the Protoss vs Zerg Race Wars. I'm sure some of you guys can notice that my voice is dead, so I probably won't be able to shout and scream like I usually like to do in these commentaries. I really wanted to get to these games beforehand, but unfortunately my voice has just been dead since I fell sick a few days ago, and I'm trying to preserve it because I'm looking forward to the OSL semifinals happening tomorrow night, so I'll probably only be able to do a couple of games today at most, because I don't really want to kill my voice completely and then be out of it for like weeks on end. Anyway, I also want to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much. You guys are just absolutely amazing. For all you guys who went out there and took the time to vote and support my book on Andromeda.com after seeing that video I put up, it was just the most intense feeling. It was like Savior winning the MSL and the OSL and the Intel Classic and the World Cyber Games and the Winners League all in one season. That's how good it felt to see the amount of support I got from you guys. It was amazing. It just, you guys just propelled me up the book charts up to number 6 despite what the detractors said, and it was really cool. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm probably not going to be able to make it into the top 5 this month because some of the regulars on the website feel that I don't deserve to be there because I haven't really been a part of their community, and so they're basically all decided to get together and block vote to keep me out of the top 5. And the guys with the top votes are the guy with the top voting power. Over there, it's something called the TSR, where apparently if you support a book that does well, it gets up to the top and it climbs the rankings. Your vote is then worth more than everyone else's, so that's why the votes of the regular users are worth more than the votes of some of you guys. Although, because a lot of you guys supported my book and it rose so high, a lot of you guys who've only gone to vote for my book actually have really high voting power on that website, ironically enough. But anyway, this guy with the top voting power, he decided to spam everyone on the site, promising to vote for their books if they voted for the top 5 to keep me out of it. And well, I mean, to be honest, I don't really blame them. You know, obviously there's a system there, and you know, that's how the system works. But you know, whatever happens, I just feel so privileged that you guys took the time to vote for me. You guys are more awesome than a Bisu Savior Boxer hybrid, and really, you know, no matter what happens, I just think I'm just so grateful. But anyway, let's get on with the StarCraft. This is the Protoss vs Zerg Race Wars. I've been putting off watching this for so long because, as I said, I've been sick and I wanted to do a commentary on it. I wanted to be fresh when I watched it. Excuse me. This is July versus Best. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. I think July has the potential to all kill the Protoss team here. He is just one of the most awesome and powerhouse Zerg versus Protoss players around, and I fully expect him to really make Best work hard for this. Best isn't bad when it comes to Protoss versus Zerg. I really think Protoss versus Zerg is going to be such an awesome matchup because on both sides you've got such charismatic players, and you know, I wouldn't mind watching a few of my favorite Zerg stars lose just to see it go all the way down to the wire and see how well that would work out. This is going to be on Andromeda, one of the old school Protoss vs Zerg maps, one of the maps where I've seen some of the best Zerg vs Protoss gameplay. The only thing I don't like about Andromeda is that when a player, especially for Zerg players, I don't think this applies as much to other races, but especially for Zerg players, even though they're ahead and they're controlling most of the map, it's very difficult for them to finish the game off. It's very difficult for them to break the defense of Terrans and Protosses because of the structure and the design of the map. Whereas if a Zerg player is behind, they can get rolled over quite easily. I'm not saying it's an imbalanced map. I don't think it's imbalanced. I just think that sometimes you get these 30-minute, 40-minute games where the Zerg player is dominating, or in Terran versus Terran, one of the players is dominating, but he just can't finish the other player off because effectively, you know, you start off with a very easy to defend natural expo, and you've got a min only in your main that's also easy to defend. So you've got 3 mineral patches instead of, you know, I suppose the easily defendable 1 or 2 to start with, and that just allows you that much more time to kind of turtle and sit and grow and defend and push out and try and take more bases. And it does, I guess. And there's Bisu. I'm sure he's looking forward to mixing it up now that he's out of the Star Leagues, and it looks like scouting by Best in the wrong direction initially. July is actually going to send his overlord in the right direction. It looks like Best is going to go for the Forge Fast Expand. He's put his pylon down at the bottom of his ramp, and he's now scouted the... just for reference, July is at the 1 o'clock position, and Best is at the 11 o'clock position. But yeah, I'm sure Bisu and the rest of the Protoss pros are looking ready to mix it up. I wouldn't be surprised if Bisu was kept for the final game, because really Bisu has the best chance of. And July, interestingly enough, is taking his min only to start with. He's not going for his natural expo. That's an interesting move by July. Maybe he's hoping that he can if his opponent's scout is going to arrive by this time, his opponent might see the natural expo and be fooled by that and buy himself a couple more seconds of time to fool his opponent into his strategy, into his build order, or maybe he just feels that it might be easier to defend. He's going to be floating over to Best's base in a second, and it's going to see that that pylon is not up. But yeah, July and indeed Forge going up for Best, and that's why he sent the second probe out, because it was critical for him to scout July and see what his building status was. Now Best is going to see that min only expo by July as well. He's also seen the pool go up. But yeah, Best is obviously going to probably decide to put his Nexus down first, because he's seen that July has decided to expand to start with, and July's Overlord just now coming over. So you can see the value. I mean, I don't know, I've said this a million times, but it's just so important for Protoss versus Zerg to scout early, especially if you're looking to fast expand, because you know that difference of 2 cannons or 1 cannon that you might be forced to set down early on. And July, oh my god, July's putting a high. This is insane. July forces. Oh, okay, sorry. I wasn't looking at the minimap for a second. I thought that was Best's Nexus, and July had plonked his hatchery down next to Best's Nexus. Actually, July just putting his hatchery down. Best tried to block July's hatchery at his natural expo, and he's effectively forced July to put his hatchery down maybe a little bit further away than he would ideally like to have. Meanwhile, Gateway going down to Best, still no photon cannon. July, Best still has his probe in July's base. He's going to obviously be starting a couple cannons now, because he's seen the Zerglings go up. July's now got his extractor up as well, so it looks like this is going to develop into kind of a macro game. Both players, July's gone for his 3-hatch build, and July's gone for a 3-hatch build, and Best is obviously fast expanded, and Best now putting that first photon cannon down, which should be warping in any time now. He's going to be forced to bring a few probes out to block the entrance to his base. He's a little bit slow coming to the uptake, but July pulls back. Best gets 2 probes there. I think July, if he'd come in with all his Zerglings, he might just have managed to sneak through there, through the gate. But Best, I think Best, you've got to give a lot of credit to Best. He hasn't done anything wrong so far. He's put his Forge down. He sent an extra probe out to scout when his first probe didn't get the scout off, and I think that was a really important maneuver, because I think that in a game of StarCraft, the smallest things make a huge difference, and the effect really tends to snowball when you make even the tiniest error, or you give the opponent even a small advantage. And if Best hadn't scouted July with the second probe, he would have been forced, because there's no way his first probe would have made it in time, he would have been forced to spend minerals on photon cannons, and therefore would have surrendered some of the economic advantage that he would have gained. But since he did send that second probe off to scout, he invested the resources in terms of that second probe not mining for him. He invested those resources in sending it out to scout, and he reaped the rewards by saving a lot of minerals, by being able to avoid putting down 2 photon cannons early on, and in the end only needing to put down 1 photon cannon. July now just trying to keep Best's scouting probe away. Best with another probe trying to head towards July's base. July with 4 Zerglings. I think July should probably be able to cut this off comfortably, and it does look like both players are settling into what looks like a longer game on this map, and are looking ready for the macro game. Another strategy that's very effective on this map is the reverse air, and you can see Bisu and Savior split screen. I wonder if the Cosmos will conspire to bring these two into conflict in this competition. There's every chance. That second gateway going down for Best now, Citadel going down for Best, as well as so it doesn't look like he's going for Sarah Reaver. He might be going for +1 speed dot timing attack. July's got his Spire building though. First there should be popping out for Best any second now. July's obviously seeing what Best is up to. Best's got a Dragoon out. He's going to try and take down July's scouting Overlord. July's got a couple of Zerglings positioned outside Best's space. But yeah, I think that it does look like Best has decided to forgo the reverse air strategy. I think personally that's a very effective strategy on a map like this, especially later on as the Zerg chooses to expand. Although I guess on the other hand, earlier on it can be more difficult. July obviously was one of the first players to really show an amazing ingenious strategy on this map, where he went for +1 air defense on his Scourges, and he just covered the map with Scourges, and he denied the Protoss the ability to have air superiority. And when he did that, and I think actually that was against Best, I think it was a best of 3 against Best actually, or a best of 5 against Best, on which we saw some great StarCraft by July, including on Andromeda, and Best now has his Sarah out. July putting another hatchery down at his min only. He's now got he's actually not put down any Hydralisk Den, he's gone straight for the Spire, so I'm sure we'll be seeing some